The airport buzzed with the usual morning chaos, rolling suitcases, sharp announcements echoing off glass walls, and families hugging goodbye. But for Ian, it felt like the beginning of a new life. His heart hammered with excitement as he clutched his passport and ticket, the scholarship letter tucked safely in his bag. After years of insults, neglect, and surviving in a home where love was a luxury, he was finally escaping. A plane was waiting to carry him toward a future he had built with his own hard work. His mother, Shabana, hadn't bothered coming with him. She simply tossed the ticket onto his bed earlier and muttered, "Don't embarrass us abroad." His step, Brother Rahel had smirked, whispering, "Good riddance." Even then, Ian had dismissed it as jealousy. He still wanted to believe that somewhere, deep down, they cared. He reached the boarding counter, adjusting the strap of his worn backpack. The airline staff scanned his ticket. Their polite smile wavered. They typed something again and again. Finally, the woman looked up, her expression tight. "Sir, this ticket is cancelled." Ian blinked. "Cancelled? There must be a mistake. I didn't cancel anything." She turned the screen so he could see the words, "Cancelled by passenger request." The world around him blurred. His chest tightened. "I didn't request anything." He whispered. "Please step aside," she said gently. "We need to continue the line." He stepped back, trembling fingers pulling out his phone. Maybe it was a glitch. Maybe a notification popped up. A message from his mother. "Have fun walking home, loser." Below it, another message, from Rahil. A laughing emoji, nothing else. For a moment, Ian couldn't move. His vision stung. His breath came uneven. People brushed past him, unaware that his entire life had just collapsed in a single sentence. The airport lights felt harsher now, stabbing into the back of his eyes. He tried calling his mother, but she rejected the call instantly. Security approached, their tone firm, but not unkind. "Sir, if you're not traveling, you'll have to exit the boarding area." Traveling? He almost laughed. He wasn't going anywhere. Outside the airport doors, the cold air slapped his face. He walked until he reached the sidewalk, where he sat on his suitcase and lowered his head into his hands. The dreams he'd carried for years studying abroad, building a new life, proving his worth, shattered like cheap glass on a stone floor. His mother had taken everything away, again, but this time, something inside him cracked differently. Not in defeat, but in awakening. This betrayal would not be the end of his journey. It would be the beginning. Ian didn't know how long he sat outside the airport, minutes, hours, maybe more. People came and went, taxis pulled up, families laughed, children cried. Life moved forward for everyone except him. He felt frozen in place, like a discarded object no one cared to pick up. A voice interrupted his thoughts. "Beta, are you okay?" Ian looked up. An older man with a salt hand, pepper beard and kind eyes stood beside a yellow taxi. His name tag read Rashid. He wasn't dressed fancy, just a simple jacket and worn shoes, but something about his presence felt safe. Ian wiped his eyes quickly. "I'm fine, just waiting." Rashid chuckled softly. "Nobody waits on the sidewalk with eyes red like that. Him." He pointed at the suitcase. "Your flight missed, my life missed." Ian muttered before he could stop himself. Rashid didn't push. He simply sat beside him. "Sometimes life throws stones. Sometimes it throws mountains, but you look like someone who can climb." The unexpected kindness cracked something in Ian. In a small, trembling voice, he told Rashid everything, from his mother's cruel message to the cancelled ticket. He expected judgment, pity, maybe even annoyance. Instead, Rashid sighed heavily. "You don't deserve this. Come, I'll drop you somewhere." "I don't want to go home," Ian said quickly. "I can't," Rashid nodded. "Then don't. You can stay at my place tonight. It's small but clean. My daughter moved for college, so her room is empty." Ian hesitated. Trust was not something he gave easily, but at that moment he had nowhere else to go. "Thank you," he whispered. Rashid's home was modest but warm. His wife served chai and parathas, refusing to let Ian go to bed hungry. For the first time in years, he felt human. The next morning, Ian decided he wouldn't just survive, he would rebuild. Rashid got him a small job at a nearby tech repair shop. The pay was low, but Ian worked like a man possessed. He learned quickly fixing phones, repairing laptops, handling customers. After work, He used the shop's old computer to watch online tutorials. Coding, editing, design, freelancing. He studied until his eyes burned. He practiced until his fingers cramped. He learned until the fear inside him turned into determination. Days became weeks, weeks became months. Slowly, he started taking online clients, a logo design here, a small website there. His first $20 felt like a fortune. His second $50 felt like power. His first $500 felt like freedom. Meanwhile, his mother and Rahil never called. They assumed he was broken, crawling in misery, but Ayan was rising. Quietly, steadily, unstoppably. This time, he wasn't running from betrayal, he was building the life they tried to steal. A full year had passed since the day Ayan sat outside the airport, shattered and abandoned. But the boy who had cried on the sidewalk was gone. In his place stood a young man molded by hardship, discipline, and relentless effort. His freelancing career bloomed faster than he imagined. One client recommended him to another, then another. Soon, he wasn't just earning, he was thriving. He built his own small remote agency, hiring 2 online assistants, launching portfolios, and creating systems that worked like clockwork. Within months, he moved into a sleek apartment with soft lighting, polished floors, and a view of the city glowing like a promise. His new car, a shiny black sedan, waited downstairs. From a boy struggling to pay for chai, he had become a man who received consultation payments worth what he once earned in a month. And through all this, he never forgot Rashid and his family. They remained his anchor, the people who believed in him when he had nothing. Every weekend, he visited them, always welcomed with warm food and warmer hearts. Meanwhile, back in his old house, storms were brewing. His mother, Shabana, had always relied on her husband's pension and the money Ayan brought home during school. With Ayan gone, the financial structure of the family collapsed. Bills piled up like angry reminders. Rahil, who once mocked Ayan, failed his exams twice. He spent most days sleeping or complaining, blaming the world for problems he created. The house that once echoed with insults now echoed with arguments. Shabana tried calling Ayan one evening, but her number flashed on his phone like a shadow. He watched it ring out. She tried again and again. Finally, she sent a message, "We need to talk." No apology, no explanation, just need. Ayan didn't respond. But one day, while driving past his old neighborhood, he felt the weight of the past pull him in. He parked his car outside the same street where kids used to mock his clothes and neighbors whispered about his uselessness. As he stepped out, the air fell silent. People stared, their eyes widened. Whispers spread faster than wind. The boy who used to walk with torn shoes was now stepping out of a luxury car, dressed in confidence and success. When he reached his old gate, Shabana appeared at the door. Her expression froze shock, disbelief, and a trace of shame swirling in her eyes. Ayan, she breathed, gripping the doorframe as if it were the only thing holding her up. Rahil peeked from behind her, his face pale and jaw clenched. Ayan looked at them, not with hatred, but with the calm strength of someone who had healed without them. "I thought you needed to talk," he said quietly. It was time, not for anger, but for truth. For a long moment, no one spoke. The tension was thick enough to touch. Shabana's eyes darted from Ayan's face to his expensive watch, then to the gleaming car parked outside. She looked as if life itself had slapped her. "Ayan Beta, come inside," she said, forcing a smile that trembled at the edges. He stepped in. The house smelled the same. Dust, old curtains, and memories he'd buried. But it felt smaller now, as if his growth had made the walls shrink. Rahil sat on the sofa, arms crossed tightly. "So, you think you're better than us now," he muttered. Ayan ignored the bait. He turned to his mother. "You said you needed to talk." Shabana lowered her gaze, her voice softening artificially. Things have been difficult since you left. The bills, the loans, your stepfather's savings finished, and Rahil's college." Ayan held up a hand. "Stop," she froze. He took out a folded paper from his coat and placed it on the table. "Before you say another word, I want you to read this." She unfolded it with trembling fingers. It was the screenshot, her message from the airport, "Have fun walking home, loser." The color drained from her face as if someone wiped the life out of her. Her lips parted but no sound came out. "I walked home," Ayan said quietly, "but I didn't walk back into this house. I ran toward my future. Shabana's eyes filled with tears. I didn't mean it. I was angry. You ruined my chance. Ayan said, his voice firm but calm. A scholarship I worked years for. You didn't just betray me. You tried to trap me. Rahil scoffed. Drama king, we just thought you'd embarrass us abroad. Ayan turned to him with an expression Rahil had never seen before, strength mixed with disappointment. I didn't embarrass you. I outgrew you. For the first time, Rahil looked away. Ayan continued, do you know why I came today? He reached into his coat again and pulled out another document, this one thicker. Shabana hesitated. What is this? Your house? Ayan said simply. I bought it from the bank last month. It was in debt. You were about to lose it anyway. She covered her mouth in shock. Why, you bought it? Yes, and I'm giving you 30 days to leave. Rahil jumped to his feet. You can't do that. We're family. Ayan shook his head. Family doesn't destroy your dreams. Family doesn't laugh when you fall. Shabana collapsed onto the sofa, crying softly, broken not by punishment, but by truth. Ayan walked toward the door. I'm not here to hurt you. This is not revenge. It's freedom for me and a lesson for you. At the doorway, he paused, looking back one last time. I hope one day you understand what love should look like. And with that, he stepped into the sunlight stronger, wiser, unchained. His story had finally begun.